Chapter 4, Ancient China. Lesson 1, The Geography of China. Today we will be looking at some physical features in China, the first being the Huanghe River that runs through this part of China. We will also take a look at the plateau in the Himalaya Mountains and the North China Plain, which is centered right here. China is the largest country in Asia and the third largest country in the world. Its landmass is almost as large as the entire continent of Europe. More people live in China than any other nation. With its geographic size and the way it spreads across Earth, China is a land of contrasts in landforms, climate, and the ways of life of the people who live there. Historians trace human settlement and culture in China to the North China Plain. We looked at this earlier on our map. A large portion of China's food comes from this region. Beijing, the capital, is located on the northern tip of the plain. About 12 million people live there. Beijing has been a center of culture and government since the 13th century. The Huanghe River cuts through the North China Plain. We also looked at this on the map earlier. From start to finish, you have nearly 3,400 miles of river. About 3000 BC, early civilizations in China made their home near the Huanghe River Valley. The Great River picks up and carries a large amount of yellow silt dissolved in the water. The river takes on a distinctive yellow color, which is why it is called the Huang, or Yellow River in Chinese. Like the Nile, it has a history of flooding and wiping out crops and homes. The Huanghe River has been called China's sorrow because for centuries, floods have wiped out crops and left people homeless. Here are a few pictures of the Huanghe River. So if you take a look at this zoomed in picture of China, you can see how long the river is. It goes through all these different parts and then into the Yellow Sea. Here is a picture of the Yellow River. You can see how the silt really has given it a very yellow color. Here we have another picture of the Yellow River, and as you can see, they have this plateau in the middle where people have farmed. One more picture of the Yellow River. The Tibetan Plateau is sometimes called the roof of the world. As you may guess, its location is in the Himalayas, a mountain range located on the southern border of the Tibetan Plateau. The tallest peak on the earth is located in the Himalayas. Here is a map, so you can see the Himalayas range right here. You also can see above is where China is located, and then beneath you have India bordering the Himalayas. Here is a picture of the Himalayas from above, just how long the mountain range is. No other civilization is believed to have existed as long as China has. It is continuous from its earliest record in history to today. So even though some other civilizations may have been earlier on in time, like Mesopotamia or Egypt, they have not been continuous. China has a continuous record, which we'll go through in our next lesson, that started in the BC and still goes on today. That is the end of Lesson 1, The Geography of China.